Let's go. The Green Bay Packers are in the playoffs. They just beat the Chicago Bears. Get off the field, Chicago. Get off the field. The Green Bay Packers, under the first year of Jordan Love, have swept the Chicago Bears, moving their way into the playoffs. I couldn't be happier of this football team right now. I couldn't be happier for Jordan Love right now. I am so ecstatic with this win. And I'll say this, it's got to be difficult right now to be a Bears and Vikings fan. You know, you go through 30 years of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers gets traded to the Jets, and you're probably thinking to yourself, it's over. It's finally over. But I'm here to tell you, it's not over. Jordan Love is the future at quarterback for this team. Jordan Love will reign supreme for future years here in the NFC North, and he might not have won the North this year. Lions got the first one, and they can hang their division-winning banner in their stadium, the first one in 30 years, whatever. But Jordan Love is here to stay, and Jordan Love just had one of his best, if not his best games when it meant the most. The dude is cool, calm, collected, and clutch. It was shaky at times due to some missed field goals, the halftime blunder, which we'll get into, but the Packers still handled business and finished out that game at the end. And right at the forefront was Jordan Love. The Packers beat the Bears 17-9 here in Week 18, moving their record to 9-8. Now, the Rams-49ers game is currently, still going right now as I'm recording this, but as it ends through this video, I'll update you guys because that does have importance. The Packers either being 7th or 6th seed and either playing Dallas or Detroit. But honestly, I'm confident in this Packers team against both of those teams. All right, so let's dive down into the breakdown of this game. We're going to start on offense. And, going into this game, we all thought Christian Watson would be returning. It was announced that he was inactive, an hour and a half before the game. And we're kind of sitting here wondering, why, right? He practiced, 2 days this week, had an off day Friday. And Matt LaFleur said he looks ready to go. Now that the Packers won and got into the playoffs, it's probably the good move, right? They didn't need him anyways to win, and maybe he'll be even better and more healthy going into next week. And man, the Packers have so many weapons in this wide receiver room. Let's talk about guys stepping up. Next man up mentality. Not only Christian Watson being out of this game, Romeo Doubs leaving early after that chest injury where they ruled it not a touchdown catch, which, whatever, the refs were terrible on both sides tonight. Not going to really dive down too much into that. But talk about these other receivers stepping up. Jaden Reed, Bo Melton, Tay Wicks, even Malik Heath. The Packers back-to-back 100-yard wide receivers. Last week it was Bo Melton. This week it was Jaden Reed. 4 receptions, 112 yards. So many clutch catches on crucial plays to gain first downs and even more yardage. That long of 59 there in the second half was just an awesome catch and run. Bo Melton, 5 for 62. This dude's looking like the real deal. Tay Wicks, 6 for 61 after returning from his injury where he was out last week, and 2 touchdowns. Tucker Kraft, 3 for 31. Aaron Jones, 5 for 30. What a game by Aaron Jones. Luke Musgrave even had a catch for 11 yards in a crucial spot where the Packers backed up inside their own 5-yard line. 2nd and 13. They need to go down and end this game, which they ended up doing. An 11-yard completion to Musgrave across the middle. So he came in when it mattered. Didn't get too many snaps, but he came in when it mattered and converted a nice throw and catch from Love. Speaking of Jordan Love, man, what an efficient game. Cool, calm, collected. Yes, he had that fumble, but man, throwing the football, this guy made every throw he needed to make in this game. 27 of 32, an 84% completion percentage. That is absolutely insane. 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, was only sacked once, a 128.6 quarterback rating. What a game for Jordan Love. Let's give a hand for Jordan Love. The guy just always looks like he's in control, like not much phases him. And he's grown so much this year. So shout out to everyone that's been patient with Jordan Love. I certainly have been on this channel because you saw the flashes. You saw what Jordan Love could become. And he's grown every single week. And through the second half of this season, he's looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And that's just amazing. Looking at the Packers running game, before this game started, I said the Packers need to get established on the ground. The Bears have a good run defense. And I feel the Packers executed perfectly in the run game. It was one of the first games where I really felt that run blocking was dominating. Because for the Green Bay Packers, their run blocking hasn't been great all year. And I felt like this year against one of the better run defenses, they owned those trenches. Aaron Jones finished 22 carries, 111 yards. It's no coincidence that over the last 3 weeks, the Packers are 3-0, and Aaron Jones has had over 20 carries and over 100 yards in each of those games. Keep feeding Aaron Jones. He's the hot hand. Go into next week, whether it's the Cowboys or Lions, I don't care, and continue to run Aaron Jones, and then it opens up so much for this passing offense, and we see Jordan Love making clutch throw after clutch throw. And shout out to this offensive line, man. They were protecting Jordan Love so well tonight. Shout out Rasheed Walker at left tackle. That guy has stepped up. There was a running play to the left side where Rasheed Walker was blocking Tremaine Edmonds like 15 yards down the field. You love to see it. Everyone on that offensive line stepped up today. They were still rotating Runyon and Sean Ryan, and it worked well. Zach Tom at right tackle. There wasn't many plays where I went, okay, the O-line had a miscue there. They played excellent tonight. And I'm going to quickly touch on the first half miscue where the Packers, should have just kicked the field goal, but threw a quick out route to Wicks, and Tyreek Stevenson basically pushed Wicks out of bounds going backwards, and the clock stayed running. That is the correct call by the refs. You would love to see the Packers just kick a field goal there, and I know Anders already missed one, but it would have changed a 38-yarder into a 34-yarder. It's just a little bit of miscoaching a little bit by Matt LaFleur, but gladly it didn't come back to bite the Packers. All right, so now we got to talk about this defense, and the defense 2 weeks in a row has had exceptional performances. Holding the Bears to 9 points here, holding Justin Fields in check, right? And more importantly, stopping this run. The Chicago Bears running offense is one of the best, if not the best in the league. I believe they were first or second in yards per game before this game. Green Bay held them to 75 yards and a 3.0 average. The Packers' run defense has been a problem most of this year. It was not tonight, and they stepped up. Khalil Herbert, 12 for 28, nothing going there. Justin Fields, 8 for 27. They contained Justin Fields wonderfully. I was really worried about that going into this game. We know how the Packers struggle against running quarterbacks, and I thought they did an excellent job containing Justin Fields by getting pressure early and making him make a decision, and then when he did scramble out and run, he had a couple nice running plays, but I thought Quay Walker had a nice contain on Justin Fields most of the game. Now, in terms of passing, the Bears really didn't pass that much. And when they did, sure, there was, some wide open receivers here or there, but the Packers were playing more tight man coverage defense during portions of this game, and it really worked because the Packers also could create so much pressure. Fields finished 11 of 16, 148 yards, so Packers held the passing game under, 150 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Should have had an interception by Valentine there in the second half, but nonetheless, the Packers sacked Justin Fields 5 times and held him under a 100 quarterback rating. Shout out to the Packers front seven. We had Carl Brooks getting a sack, a tackle for loss, just an amazing game by Carl Brooks, and you guys know how high I am on him. Devontae Wyatt, getting a sack there. Kenny Clark, Quay Walker, Lucas Van Ness, just replicating what he did in week 1, tackling Justin Fields into the ground, getting a sack, man. This front seven was on one tonight, and they played excellent, right? I had Bears fans in my comments saying, oh, it's going to be different. We didn't have Nate Davis and Tevin Jenkins in week 1. Tevin Jenkins got bullied out there. Honestly, you'd be better off with whoever else you have at left guard. Lucas Patrick wasn't out there as the backup center, Feeney. Nate Davis was out there for a while, then went out with injury. It didn't matter. It didn't matter because this Packers defensive line owned that offensive line. Braxton Jones at left tackle got beat up constantly. The Packers owned the line of scrimmage. Packers coverage also doing a pretty good job holding these receivers in check, primarily DJ Moore, 4 receptions, 64 yards. That's a win against DJ Moore. Justin Fields and DJ Moore have been electric this year, and when they're on the same page, man, DJ Moore goes for like $150, but the Packers held them in check. Jair returning this week. I saw him following him around some and playing some slot, playing some press. Man, I loved to see it. Cole Kmet mainly held him in check. He had a couple big catches, 3 for 41. He had that one 27-yard completion where Savage came in and hit him, but he held onto the ball. Kmet's been great this year, but the Packers, really holding him in check. And then outside of that, really no one did anything for the Bears offense. St. Brown, 1 for 18. Khalil Herbert, 2 for 13. Tyler Scott, 1 for 12. That's it. So the Packers pass defense, run defense, front seven creating pressure, just an awesome all-around performance by this defense. And man, I'm not often to talk about things like the refs too much, but I feel like there were so many calls in this game that the refs tried to dictate how it went. I mean, we're talking the 4th down run where, Justin Fields quarterback sneak and they brought out the chains and it looked very close. and the chains were like far away from the football, and he just ruled it a first down, and there was really no talk about it. We have the encroachment by Rashawn Gary where the left tackle clearly false started. We had multiple very close catch or no catch calls with the DJ Moore first down, the Bo Melton in the back of the end zone where they kind of weren't consistent with either of those calls. Man, there was no flags thrown when there's fights on the field. I feel like every time Justin Fields escaped the pocket, the Bears were holding. And like I said, I'm not the one to usually complain about the refs, and I think they were bad for both sides, you know, missing the late hit on John Owens hitting Justin Fields, and then Justin Fields not coming out of the game for 3 plays, then getting checked for a concussion and coming back in 1 play after. It was just a mess. Luckily, it didn't stop the Packers from getting the win here and getting into the playoffs. And as I'm recording, I just checked the scores because there was like under a minute remaining in that Rams-49ers game. The Rams actually beat the 49ers. Now it was all backups, but nonetheless, that's important for the Green Bay Packers because with the Rams win over the 49ers, now the Packers are the 7th seed, and now they head to Dallas next week to take on the Cowboys. And man, there's so much history with this matchup. Can Jordan Love be the next owner of the Dallas Cowboys like Aaron Rodgers was every time he stepped foot in that stadium? I'm very excited for this matchup. I think the Packers match up well against the Cowboys. It's Packers versus Mike McCarthy, the new regime that took over for Mike McCarthy in the playoffs. Jordan Love's first playoff game in his first season, man. There's so much hype around this team, and any way this season ends, if the Packers lose in the playoffs, I'm still so excited for this team. The young talent they have on offense, the talent they have on defense, and whatever way that goes with a coordinator switch possibly in the offseason, it really is going to depend how these playoffs go and what happens in the playoffs games. But, you know, I'm just so excited for this team moving forward, not only for the playoffs coming up, but the future. The future is bright in Green Bay. I appreciate you guys coming by to the channel. 2024 is off to an amazing start. A lot of fans counted the Green Bay Packers out a couple months ago, and a lot of fans were calling for Jordan Love's head in October and saying we should put Sean Clifford in. And if you guys stuck around, shout out to you guys, because we were getting a lot of that talk. At least I was on this channel, and imagine that Jordan Love turns it around, plays excellent, gets this team into the playoffs where it seemed impossible in October, and all those people that were clamoring for Clifford have magically disappeared. It's crazy, isn't it? But I appreciate you guys coming by to the channel. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like down below. Thank you to everyone joining the live stream today during the game. Be on the lookout for videos throughout the entire week because we'll have more injury updates, injury reports for the upcoming game against the Cowboys. Let's get it. But I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, go Pack Go. Get it on,